Good Thursday morning to you all. Hopefully you guys are doing great. We've got another Watchmen update, the best and fastest news update that you get out there every day. Here's some of the things that we're going to be talking about today. We've got big military updates in Eastern Europe before the peace summit in Alaska coming up. Mexico is going to be turning over cartel members to the United States, and our first hurricane of the season is inbound and will be formed into a hurricane later today. Alaska state capital being evacuated as a major crisis is forming there. U.S. puts bounties on Haitian gang leaders, and the Smithsonian Institute museums are being reviewed for anti-American material. We got that plus a bunch of your reports and updates coming in from all over. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates. If you have something to share, make sure you use the word update somewhere in your comment. That gets it to the right place. We do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. If you have a retirement account and you want to get it out of stocks and bonds, stocks are at all-time highs. Is this a good time to pivot over to precious metals? I think it might just be. But if you want to talk to somebody about that and make that move for yourself and your retirement security, there'll be a link at the end of the video for you to find out more from Genesis Gold. All right, let's start off with bear country out there. Big deal there. They're about to enter into peace talks with the United States about the conflict in Eastern Europe, but they've just broken through the main lines. In at least one place, we see large-scale units moving through the countryside unopposed. It looks like the front is starting to collapse. Other portions of the border have, other portions of the military line have started to get very porous, indicating that there just aren't enough troops to defend the entire line, and things are breaking down. It's not looking good. Even very pro-Western media are reporting that in the last 24 hours, bear country has captured 110 square kilometers of territory. That's not a small amount of territory. They are majorly advancing every single day now, and we're seeing in some of these areas they're moving to encircle one of the large supply cities in Eastern Europe. All right, moving on, we got Russia is suspected of hacking the U.S. federal court filing system in the U.S. Investigators have found evidence that Russian hackers targeted sealed and highly sensitive court reports, including documents that could reveal details of national security prosecutions and disclose confidential sources. So we are in a de facto state of war with bear country. They are doing things to us. We're doing things to them. I mean, a lot of the weapons being used on the front lines have been provided by NATO countries, whether European allies of the United States or the United States itself. A lot of the weapons being used to stop bear country soldiers, and fatally so in many cases, are due to United States weapons and English weapons, French weapons, German weapons. And so is it too far gone that they are hacking us? It's just going to escalate from here, friends. Things are getting worse. Hopefully with this peace talks in Alaska, things will calm down and we'll be able to see some light at the end of the tunnel. Peace in our time would be kind of a nice thing. I know that phrase has a lot of loaded meaning, but there's a truth to Chamberlain. If you actually study him, he just had such an aversion to war that he felt that like every single chance should be given to peace. Every single chance. And he realized that he might fail. And he said, And then the person that comes behind me will know that every single avenue for peace had been already tried. And that was his conviction. He wasn't necessarily opposed to the next person coming up and leading in war, but he wanted to expend all of his political capital to bring peace and to try to ensure peace for Europe. I know he gets a huge bad rap. He was wrong. He was wrong, but in some ways, he was really right. Anyway, Tropical Storm Erin is going to be upgraded to a hurricane. Projections are saying sometime this afternoon or evening, this Thursday evening, we're going to see our first Atlantic hurricane of 2025. That trajectory, the spaghetti models are already out there. It could endanger the Bahamas and other islands in the Caribbean, but no clear projections just yet on where it's going to hit in the U.S., if it will at all. Speaking of the Caribbean, the United States has offered a $5 million reward for the arrest of a Haitian gang leader. It's not quite the $50 million we're offering for the president of Venezuela, but this guy is a pretty awful guy. This Haitian gang leader, Jimmy Barbecue Cherizier. He has been accused of violating U.S. sanctions and is leading not only his gang, but other gangs in committing atrocities in Haiti. This is a much more preferable way of dealing with things happening outside the United States, offering cash and not sending in U.S. troops. I appreciate that. Horrible things happening in Haiti right now. Maybe the UN should get on that. I know the UN has already deployed some peacekeepers, but I think they may have had to pull out because of all the difficulties and the danger to the UN security troops. Very nasty situation in Haiti for all the people there. Alaska capital Juneau urged to evacuate as a glacial outburst flood looms. Basically, above a glacier, a massive lake has formed, 15 billion gallons of water back there, and it's starting to break because obviously the glacier is made of ice, it melts, it starts to break, all that water comes flooding out right into the capital. It's a big thing there, and so they are urging people to evacuate before this completely breaches. It's like a dam that's breaking, except it's made of ice and water. Of course, those glaciers often pick up a lot of boulders and rocks and that kind of stuff, so it can get awfully messy. Got to see the after effects of some of that kind of stuff in Central Asia when I was working there, but awful situations. The White House has ordered a probe of the Smithsonian museums in Washington, D.C. and elsewhere to remove partisan narratives. Not only that, but anti-American narratives. The administration has ordered a sweeping review of some of Smithsonian's museums to ensure that their exhibits laud American exceptionalism and remove diversive, because this says divisive, divisive partisan narratives. So these museums are supposed to be, since they're supported by the U.S. federal government, supposed to be for all Americans, and it's supposed to exhibit American exceptionalism, not not to just slam the United States at every turn. Mexico, as part of ongoing negotiations, has agreed to transfer 26 wanted fugitives to the United States. Now, these are high-profile fugitives, including alleged leaders of cartels, high-level cartel members, to U.S. authorities as part of a joint effort to crack down on fentanyl trafficking and violent cross-border crimes. This is a big step there. Mexico has previously not wanted to turn these people over to the United States, but quite frankly, with the way the Mexican government is, do they really have control of their own country? These people need to be in the hands of a government that can actually make sure that they stay where they're supposed to be. A European satellite is going to be launched to step up monitoring of extreme weather. The Ariane 6 rocket launches with next-gen weather satellites as deadly heat waves hit Europe. Are they deadly heat waves, or are they just a lack of air conditioning? It's a conversation out there online, if you haven't seen that already, that more Europeans, you're more likely in Europe to die of lack of air conditioning than you are to die of a boomstick death in the United States. And that just kind of puts things in perspective there, that their green policies over in Europe are far more fatal than allowing people to have boomsticks in the United States. That's kind of shocking if you think about it, but and it's even worse than that when you start thinking about how many of those boomsticks are used to protect people and to make sure crimes don't happen. Amy says, I am in the higher elevations of northern Arizona and have enriched my garden soil for decades with compost. Ordinarily, I would see many earthworms anytime the soil was disturbed or a flower pot was moved. This summer, there are none, no worms. I didn't use poisons in my garden, so the cause must be something else. Paula says, I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and you can't go to the grocery store and find many fruits or vegetables without mold and without rot. The stores put them out anyway and say, that's what they sent us. A terrible argument. I mean, it's like, if it's not fit for consumers, it shouldn't be put out on the shelves. You have to be watching out for yourself and your family these days, because the stores aren't doing it anymore. Heather says, Southwest Mississippi here, looking for yellow jackets, but none came to my house. No June bugs or horse flies since the drought 2 years ago. Plenty of birds and frogs and snakes here, though. Learning Functioning says, here in upstate New York, our governor has closed the homeless behind a fence in Syracuse, New York, and plans to close homeless shelters so they have no place to go. This is very wrong. We're talking about that, the homeless problem across the United States, and just kind of, we have to have compassion for people, but on the other hand, we can't just let homeless encampments take over inner cities, especially, when there are high crime things happening in what's supposed to be like commercial districts of the cities, right? I mean, that's not what the streets are designed for homeless people to be doing all sorts of stuff all over the sidewalks. There are other places for that. There should be other places for that aren't injuring and damaging traffic and pedestrians. Beach Flower says, no okra in Texas, south of Houston. They're having trouble getting okra there too. Looney Lacey says, here in Arkansas, we can't find any good produce. Most are rotten inside. We're hearing that a lot, aren't we? So my question is where is all the good produce going? Why is it going bad before it gets to the stores? And that's a combination question there. Are we just losing a lot of good suppliers? Are we basically just the stuff that used to get thrown out? Is that what's showing up on the shelves? And another thing is, has the transportation changed? It does seem like we're bringing fruits and vegetables from further away, other countries where we used to source a lot of that within the United States. And then on top of that, we're hearing rumors out there that more of this produce is being moved unrefrigerated. And that's causing problems there because it's cheaper to move them in an unrefrigerated box truck than it is to actually refrigerate them on the move. All right, Freedom Farms says, if you are seeing less bugs, try spraying down your property with water, leaving little puddles. Birds and bugs, all life really, need water to breed and survive. If you love your animal neighbors, help them out a bit during this hot summer. Ballistic Tip says, Southeast Missouri. I like to ride an electric scooter for fun on nice days, and in previous years, bugs would always end up splattering on my helmet, and it was a major issue. I just realized, listening to other viewers' reports, that this year I have not had any issues with bugs while riding. That is scary. It truly is, friends. I mean, just our entire, the entire ecology around us is changing, and nobody knows why or what the effects are really going to be. But we're starting to see some of those effects, and they're not good. William says, Western Montana. As I came inside my house today, I found a wasp thrashing at my doorway, twisting and turning. It seemed like it had gotten into something and was continuously trying to wash its mandible, antenna, and eyes. I have hated wasps for years, but I actually felt bad for it as it thrashed. You could almost see the twitching going with the cleaning. Clean, clean, stop, body, spasm. I tried to wash it in a little water, but no help. Over the next 30 minutes, it stopped twitching. We had the landscaping people at the apartments, but they had not sprayed anything. It's the second wasp I've seen this year. Have seen bumblebees this season, but no honeybees here. Richard in Northport, Florida. If you live in the South, you know what love bugs are. They leave a sticky substance on everything, and it's almost impossible to remove. They arrive twice a year and are a big nuisance. We haven't seen them for 2 years, which is a relief. Really don't miss them. But again, things are changing out there. Selenian says, I went to buy coffee yesterday in Northwest Pennsylvania. In every store, the price was over $16 for a 23-ounce can. Insane. Coffee prices are significantly up. We warned you about that was coming. Just like we're warning you that the beef shortage is now just starting to hit. Beef prices are starting to escalate and will continue to escalate. Queen Peach says, my husband has a friend that works for Toyota, and he told him that for this year, Toyota will be eating the tariffs themselves, but next year the prices will increase on their vehicles. So if you're looking for getting a Toyota, you might want to get on that because tariffs are going to be going up. The prices are going to be going up because of tariffs. Scott says, South Lake Tahoe, California. Rally's grocery store, $5 Monday sale, 2 items marked two for $5 rang up at $5 each. Got to watch those receipts, friends. I also bought 6 bottles of soda. 5 of them rang up correctly at $2.48 each, and 1 rang up for some reason at $3.99. Even the employee didn't know what was happening. Always keep an eye on your groceries as they ring up. Madam K says, Northeast Wisconsin, watch your canning lids for dings in them. So I made corn salsa last night, and 2 jars didn't seal due to the lid's edges being bent down a little. I didn't notice it until this morning. There wasn't any siphoning. The jars looked fine until I took the rings off for storage. They were ball canning lids. Never leave your rings on any canned goods that you're storing. If the seal is bad and you leave the ring on, the jar can reseal itself and look fine, even though it's not safe to consume. All right, friends, thank you so much for your reports and being part of the Watchmen community. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold, there's a link right there on the screen. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up there. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.